Hi, I'm Pete and welcome back to Sable. In the previous episode we did a couple of tutorial quests. The next thing we need to do is go and talk to Sizo up at the top of that tower. I will just see if this person here, Jaddy, has anything to say. Jaddy greets me warmly. Hello, little glider. What was your gliding like? I asked Jaddy about her gliding. Tell you what, I'll tell you when you get back. I cross my arms in protest. Pout all you want. I don't want to spoil any surprises. She lowers her voice to a whisper. But I did meet some crystal farmers once. Crystal farmers? And that's all I'll say about that. You should get going. Okay. Does the postbox... There's a red light on the postbox. Does that mean there's a message for me? Logging in? Hello, Sable. Unread messages, 0. Have a good day. That answers that question then. Okay, I want to climb this tower. There was a staircase somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. I think it was around this side. Yeah, that thing up there definitely wasn't there before. I need to talk to you again. Ziki looks concerned. Elaria, how did you even get up there? That little. Children have no fear. What? Is this for me? I guess we'll go up to the top of the tower and find out. Don't fall, don't fall. Sizo is an outclanner to the Abexai, but I've known her for nearly as long as I can recall and think of her more as a kind of distant relation than any sort of outsider. Machinists, I'm told, are given their posts and by their training and their code must go to where they are needed, but Sizo has been among us for so long that it's easy to forget it's an assignment first and foremost. As far as any of us are concerned, she is one of us. I think there is a perception among the other clans that the Ibexai are quite insular, or that our designation of Ibexai versus outclanners suggests some nervous othering of those who are unlike us. But in practice, such things are more the result of our nomadic nature. We seek to know who will travel with us and who we must leave behind, but all are welcome to join. And I'm always pleased that Sizo did. Sable, how do you do, clan child? I can only think of one thing. Excited for my bike. Sizo has a throaty quality to her voice and it rumbles through her mask when she laughs. She's quite a serious person most days and I'm always torn between pride and alarm when I manage to make her chuckle. Yes, Jaddy told me how excited you were. Sizo sniffs. She also told me Driss would be coming along to get your bike together, but I think he may have... I knew it. What? I hadn't meant to say that out loud, so I tell her I was just clearing my throat. I don't begrudge Driss his forgetfulness. Were I tasked with so many odds and ends, I might be just as scattered. And besides, this will be good for you. I want you to scavenge the Hoverbike parts yourself. That sounds like an adventure. I tell Sizo I like the sound of that, a little adventure before my big one. It's more meaningful than you know. To bond with one's bike before it has taken form is more privileged than labour. Here, take this. Sizo hands me something. This is a navigator. You can use it to mark waypoints on your compass. It should be useful in finding the old parts. I ask Sizo where I might start looking. Our bikes are reborn in the ruined ships, in fragments spread apart. A good start would be the ship down there near the camp. You'll find another up on that great rock near the other side of the canyon. Ah, is that tower thing I noticed in the previous episode? Maybe. And another behind the old dam on the hill. Use your navigator to mark that down if you need. You'll need to gather a control panel, a power supply, and a calibrator. Alright, I'll be back before you know it. I tell Sizo I'll see her soon and head off in search of the components. Together we will create something new out of the old. Right, so right button to open the navigator. I see, this is fun. Okay, so I can place a marker there. That's a bit far, isn't it? Let's place it just there. And then there was one up on the hill up there. Kind of there-ish maybe. And then there was one beyond the dam. So now if I go into my map, yeah, I can see those, including the one that was a bit too close. Let's get rid of that one. No, it's the one... no, that was too far. Anyway, okay, fine. We've got 3 markers. They're probably not in exactly the right place, but it'll do. This thing's still here. Can I glide across to that? Looking promising. Your mother's looking for you. The balloon was more fun than the person in it. I approached the cartographer. Ah, greetings, child. I saw you looking longingly at my great balloon. Quite a piece of work, isn't she? It's bigger than I thought. I tried to explain that when I first saw the balloon, I thought it was very small and somewhat far away, but now I see it's quite large and was very far away. I fumble through the explanation, though, and the cartographer just nods without saying anything. I nod back. Well, good to meet you, and oh, I should introduce myself. I'm Jourdan. I tell him I'm Sable. Suppose if you've come all this way to see me, it's probably a map you're after, eh, Sable? Do I need a map? I ask the cartographer if I need one. Do stag beetles like figs? I have no idea, but contextually I assume the answer is yes. If you're leaving on your gliding Sable, you'll definitely need a map of the Ewer at least, and I'll sell you one for only 50 cuts. To my ears it's a fair price for a map, but too expensive for a pre-gliding glider with empty pockets. I tell Jourdan I'll be back. I'll need to ask Jaddy for some money. Farewell, child. Okay, let's get some money from Jaddy, over here in the middle of camp. I feel like getting this map early might be useful, rather than going off in search of those various 3 items for the hoverbike. You know, I've got my test hoverbike I can use for the meantime. I tell Jaddy that the cartographer wants 50 cuts for a map of the Ewer. I try to hedge the way I speak about this, as I'm not entirely sure whether that's too much, not enough, or precisely its value. She tells me not to worry. It's some money to get you going on your journey. Use it most wisely, and then a little unwisely when the mood strikes. It's good to know the value of money, but you never want to be ruled by it. I thank Jaddy effusively and head out on my way. 200 cuts is worth effusing over. Right, so I wonder if I can... Let's try a thing. Let's try jumping across here, and then climbing this. Let our stamina recharge, and then do the same thing again. Yeah, we don't need to climb that central tower again. Hello, I'm back. Greetings, child. I'll buy that map. Perfect. Let's trade then. Select. How many would you like to buy? I think 1 will suffice. Ah, I seem to have nothing left for you. Ha! Okay, so that's been done. We're down to 170. Let's close this. I thank Jourdan for the Ewer map and all its vast possibilities. Something about this makes it feel more real. Good luck on your gliding, Sable. I still remember mine. I ask how it was. Short. I knew since I was a boy that cartography was for me, but I spent a little extra time out there just to enjoy the world. Speaking of, keep an eye on the skies, eh? Plenty of my colleagues out there, and they'll have more maps to sell you, from Hakoa to the Sodic Waste. I thank Jourdan for the tip and say goodbye. Farewell, child. Right, I've unlocked a piece of the map. I can navigate to the map screen. In the pause menu, I can fast travel using the map screen. Okay, map screen. Okay, so this is the area we've just purchased. It's not very big. I see. Okay, and this is as far out as I can zoom, so I can't really see how many other areas there are. But most of them seem to be quite a bit bigger than this one we're in at the moment. Still, that does at least allow us to refine our map locations. So like this one, we'll move it through there. The broken down ship is there instead of there. And then I think this is the thing on the hill. So I think I did a pretty good job of positioning that one. All right. Cool. So we're doing ships of old. Sizo has a task for me. That was gathering the parts of the ship. Okay, so what's kind of happening is this is sort of the parent quest and this is the child quest. If I set that to be active, do I see markers appearing on my map? No. Okay, so only the markers that I've placed. Right, we need to go back to get our hoverbike. And also it says, once I've visited a location, I can fast travel to it. So does that mean that... yeah, Ibex Camp counts as a location I can fast travel to. I see, I see. Hoverbike, I think, is still parked in the middle of the camp. Still presumably no mail for me. Right, let's launch this puppy off the edge. The sandcutter doesn't seem to have a health bar, so we can mistreat it as much as we like. And let's go and explore our first waypoint, looking for pieces of ship. Okay, let's disembark and let's climb in through the arse. This looks interesting. Oh, it was just a button. Very interesting button, though. Is this a person? Oh no, it's just a console. There's nothing of use to be found in the ship, but I notice a blinking light flashing on the dashboard of the cockpit. Gotta push it! A voice crackles from the machinery in front of me. It sounds like a recording. It's barely audible. Stop messing about with those buttons, you absolute idiot. Sorry, Ramen. Concentrate. I don't think I have to remind you how much work it was to get this far. We're almost there. Alright, let's see if what that old machinist told us holds up. If not, there'll be hell to pay. I hear the sound of mechanical adjustments being made. 3 clicks. Buttons being pressed, perhaps. Okay, when I push this orange thing, pull that lever. Hard. Yes, Ramen. The sound of a click and a loud grunt before a snapping sound. Oh, on Rahana's mask. Not that hard, you've torn it out. Suddenly the speakers are filled with static and a low rumble that gradually increases in pitch. And then the sounds of someone cheering. It worked! We're flying! More cheering. Is that the sound of someone dancing? Okay, let's focus. This thing is moving fast. We need to slow it down a bit. How do we do that, Ramin? Let me check the machinist's notes. A long pause. The rumbling static sound that started playing when the ship took off is still increasing in pitch. Ramin? That lever, Toma. The one you just ripped out. We're going too fast. We're going to crash. We need to try to... The recording cuts off there. Ooh. That didn't go too well for them, did it? Right, we've got some torn wires here. Some orange glowy. This thing's still saying it's interactable. Okay, leave it alone. Okay, so... I mean, we're trying to pick up one of the items here. Okay, leaving through that door has caused... what to happen? We're in a cutscene. Here comes someone. Are you looking for a calibrator? I am immediately on guard. Seymour has always been a mischief maker and taken tremendous pleasure in tormenting me. In theory, I am older, more experienced, and should be more than able to withstand it. In practice... You won't find it here. I've hidden it. You'll never find it. Never! Never! She never fails to get to me. May I please have it? I decide to be gentle and ask her, may I please have it? May I please have it? She mimics me terribly, all high and screechy. Despite my best efforts, I seethe. Oh well, too bad. Maybe you'll find it on your own, but I don't think so. Seymour laughs off my irritation, but I'm not going to give her the satisfaction. I cross my arms and try to effect a change. I'll give you the calibrator. I put out my hand, proud of myself for standing tall before Seymour. If you give me some beetles. That's a fair trade, isn't it? Something you want for something I want. I try to decide if it's more mature to push her over and steal the calibrator or to acquiesce. But then I simply stifle a sigh and shake her little hand. Perhaps some of the adults in the camp know where I can find some. Beetle detour. Okay, we're doing fetch quests then. Okay, so let's experiment with fast travel for the first time. Ibex camp. Cool. And my hoverbike apparently is somewhere nearby. Yep, there it is, just behind me. So let's ask around camp and see if anyone has any thoughts on beetling. I'm seeing a marker showing up here which suggests that the person to speak to... oh no, is that just pointing to the camp in general? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, guess we're going to be talking to a few people then. I could ask about catching beetles for that awful little Seymour. Or I could just ask about Seymour's hiding place. I know she spends a lot of time in the cave under the camp. You could have a look down there. Jaddy greets me warmly. Hello, little glider. It's so strange getting called that. I tell Jaddy how strange it is being called Glider instead of Sable or even Clanchild. Just trying to get you used to it. She seems to really like it, and maybe I like it too. My little Glider. Okay, so it looks like we've got an alternative option. So rather than doing the whole beetle thing, we just need to get into a cave underneath the camp and maybe find the calibrator ourselves. That sounds like fun. So, where's the entrance to the cave? This looks possible. Is this Seymour here? Yes, it is. How is it that Seymour manages to contain so much chaos and verve in such a small form? Even now there is something troublesome being dreamed up behind that mask. I know it. Alright, we're going into the cave. Oh, can we crouch through here? Looking promising. Could this be the calibrator itself? Yeah. No beetles required. I'm going to go and talk to Sable and rub it in their face. We'll just check to see if there's anything else good around here. The dye bottle for the colours of the Ibexi red bike. Okay, so I'm going to have some customization potential. Lovely. Sable has something they want to say. Sable shrieks when she sees the calibrator in my hand and then bursts into tears under her mask. You'll leave on the gliding and you'll never come back. Just like Yara did. Don't you miss her too? You were her friend before she left. She might visit again someday. I tell Simo that Yara will likely visit one day, just as I will, if ever I should choose another clan. But how will you find us? We'll have moved 1,000,000 times by then. I offer that I will always find the Ibexi, no matter what. Please don't go. I tell Simo not to worry, that I will be back sooner than she knows, and I'm sure she pouts behind the mask. And I add that if I'm not back sooner than she knows, then she'll be ready for her gliding by then, and she can come bother me herself. Promise? I say yes. Good, then I suppose I can come see you off. I thank her and say goodbye for now. I feel really bad now for not getting the beetles. That kid is more sensitive than I originally gave them credit for. Right, quests. We need to find the other 2 items. So that's going to require heading towards one of those 2 waypoints I've set on the compass. Our bike is just over here, hurrah. We're going to need that. It's going to be a distance. So, red one's just over there. Let's head towards it. This is the one that's behind the dam. Okay, nice. This looks like a crashed ship over here. I'm going to check that for loot. Very much no loot. Loot-free zone. Okay. Oh, I see something up there. I want that. Oh, there's many things around here. Okay, well let's start with this. Is there going to be something fun at the end of this? I mean, certainly I feel like I'm being led somewhere. This is all very convenient. Whatever's here may not be what I came looking for, but there's got to be something, right? Oh, yeah, container. 20 cuts. That might be it. Oh no, this goes through here. Oh, hello. Why did you have an exclamation mark? Are these the beetles? These could be the beetles. Okay, I think I can collect beetles. Has that gone into my inventory? I'm not seeing anything that looks like a beetle in here. Should I pick these up? I mean, I assume that they're just the things that you'd need for the beetling quest. So, yeah, I suspect that what's actually happened is I've gotten myself into an area that I don't actually need to go into anymore. Understood. Well, all that for now. Let's backtrack. Just making sure there's nothing else interesting looking around here. So the dam is just to the left there. There are also some interesting looking things over here which I'm going to head towards. I should probably pick up my hoverbike. Leaving that behind feels like it's probably a bad move. But it's not where I thought I left it. There it is. Yeah, these things up here. Might be something interesting over there. And after all that, didn't end up moving the hoverbike much at all. Let's try climbing this little plateau first. Okay, nothing lootable here. Let's try hovering over to this other thing. There's something fluttering over there. And it's interactable. Is it violent? New item, chum egg. None of this is what I expected. Offered up by chums when planting themselves into the ground, perfectly smooth and hard as a rock, these eggs seem to float with how light they are. There must be a good place to deliver these. Okay, some other little collecty side questy thing. Understood. These things are to be expected in a game such as this. Alright, that's these plateaus dealt with. I think we need to head on to the dam. Can we take it in? We sure can. Alright, we should probably park up here and look around. So we have another of these wooden-looking boat wrecks, which doesn't allow us to do much. There is a ladder. This ladder's got to be key. In a game like this, where there are not many ladders around, when you see a ladder, you climb it. Oh, wow. 2 ladders in as many minutes. Okay, what have we here? It's a bit windy up here. Seeing something glowing over here. Yep, we've got a lever. We're going to open the door. That's exciting. Alright, I want to get through there. I think a bit of gliding might be what's required here. Glide and climb. Definitely can't take the hoverbike in. And here is the other crashed ship. Yes. Looks like there's a container there. We can probably... Is it a container? Actually, no, it looks more like it's something I need to pick up and put in the space to the right. Which causes the opening of the door. Lovely. Let's go on inside. I mean, there might be some other stuff to look at around here, but let's explore inside this thing first. Okay, not much. See a bit of a green glow over there, which I'm interested by. There's the atomic control panel. That's what we wanted. And this is a dead end. Okay, so the interior of this vessel is, I think, fully dealt with. I'm just going to run around and see if there's other ways in. Not expecting any. But it's worth just having a little look from various angles. Just in case. No, okay. So yeah, there is just a single interior section of that ship. This down here looks like it may not lead to anything of interest, but I'm going to check it out anyway. Oh, hello. No, this is climbable. I'm expecting some minor loot concealed in here. Up there might be an option. Or I can walk around here and climb onto this. I'm not really sure what I'm heading for at the moment. I feel like up there is a place I might want to check out. And also that... Oh, up there. Okay, let's try this one over here first. Am I going to have enough stamina to climb up this one? Couple of birds. There is a lootable. 20 cuts for all that. I mean, that doesn't feel like much. But then maybe that's just because I got a big injection of 200 quite early on in the game, which has devalued them somewhat in my mind. It may be that as we get further and further through the game, we become very, very grateful for every 20 we find. Okay, let's continue making our way up. There's got to be something half decent at the end of all this. You know, what I'm climbing up here is... It's clearly been put there, hasn't it? Oh, it's another one of these eggs. Thank you for your strange phallic display. That puts us up to 2 chum eggs, and I think that this area behind the dam is now done. Which means that we want to be heading towards this final location up here for another piece of ship. So I think probably fast travelling back to the Ibex camp will save us a bit of time. Alright, let's grab our bike. I think that's the temple over... No, is it? Oh, no, that's where... Yes, so that location there, that's where we started the game. Fine, cool. So let's have a look at the world. So it looks like there might be something over here. This building. Let's check this out. It's always hard to know what's interactable and it's not. Okay, another chum egg. I feel like at some point we're going to meet someone who says, I want you to gather me, 3 chum eggs. And we'll be like, what a fortunate coincidence. Right, well, I'm coming down with some hiccups now, so I think this is probably a good place to end this episode. So I hope you'll join me for the next episode where we will continue in our search for parts for our hoverbike. Bye-bye.